We saw a lantern swinging far ahead, but the light never illuminated anything around it. At first, I thought it was distance playing tricks, fog swallowing detail, shadows eating the edges of things. But the longer we watched, the more obvious it became. The lantern's glow simply stopped at itself. It didn't touch the trees, didn't brush the ground. It hung there like a sealed ember, moving in a slow, even arc. "Someone's out there," Naomi said, though her voice lacked conviction. Mateo squinted. "Then why can't we see anything but the light?" I didn't answer, because I couldn't. We stood on a narrowing trail, deep enough into the forest that the last sign of civilization had been a leaning wooden marker an hour back. The trees here grew tight and tall, their trunks straight as pillars, their branches high enough to swallow the sky. Our headlamps carved clean white paths through the dark. The lantern did not. It swung again. Same rhythm, same distance. "Maybe they need help," I said. Naomi shook her head. "Or maybe they don't want it." Mateo adjusted his pack. "Only one way to find out." We moved forward. The trail seemed to accept us at first. Leaves crunched underfoot, roots shifted beneath our boots. But after a few minutes, the sounds began to slip. My steps echoed a fraction too late. Naomi's didn't echo at all. "Do you hear that?" she asked. "Yeah," Mateo said quietly. We stopped. Silence didn't fall, it pressed in. The insects were gone. Even the wind seemed to withdraw, leaving behind something dense and waiting. Ahead, the lantern swayed. Closer now. "We didn't walk that far," I said. "No," Naomi whispered. "It came closer." Mateo cupped his hands. "Hey, you all right?" The reply came back wrong. His voice stretched thin, returning from multiple directions at once, like the forest had fractured it. The lantern didn't react. "Don't call out again," I said. "Why?" "It feels like it's listening." We kept walking. The terrain shifted subtly. The trail lost definition, fading into uneven ground. Trees changed, thinner trunks, higher branches, less undergrowth. It felt like crossing an invisible boundary. Mateo checked his phone. "GPS isn't moving." "What?" "It thinks we're standing still." We weren't. My legs burned from a gradual incline that hadn't been there before. The lantern swung. Closer. Still no light on anything else. "Okay," Naomi said, her voice tight. We turned back. Relief hit me immediately. "Yeah." We turned. There was no trail. Behind us stood a wall of dense growth. Branches woven so tightly it looked untouched for years. "That's not possible," Mateo said. He pushed into it. The branches didn't give. The lantern swung. We turned back toward it. Now it was close enough to see shape. Metal frame, glass panels, a dull amber flame inside. But no hand held it. The handle moved with the arc, perfectly consistent, like it was guided by something that didn't understand variation. "There's nothing there," Naomi said. "Back up," I whispered. We stepped back. The lantern matched us, step for step. The distance remained unchanged. Then came the second set of footsteps. Not behind us, not ahead, between. A faint rhythm that slid in and out of sync with ours, sometimes matching Mateo, sometimes Naomi, never me. "It's circling," Mateo said. The lantern's motion changed. Just slightly. The arc loosened, dipping lower, then rising higher. Testing. The flame stretched within the glass, thinning, reaching. "Don't look at it," Naomi murmured. I tried not to. I focused on the trees, the ground, anything real. But the lantern pulled at the edges of my vision. Insistent. The footsteps stopped. Mateo vanished. No movement. No sound. One moment he stood beside us. The next there was empty space, his pack dropping to the ground. "Mateo!" Naomi screamed. His name came back warped, splintered across the trees. The lantern jerked, its arc breaking entirely. "Run," I said. We ran. The forest resisted. Roots rose where there had been none. The ground dipped unexpectedly. Our lights bounced wildly, barely holding the world together. The lantern stayed with us. Not ahead now, around. It slipped to the side, behind, above, always just out of reach. Naomi stumbled. I pulled her up. I can't hear him, she gasped. I can't hear anything. She was right. Sound had thinned, stretched to nothing. The lantern stopped. We didn't. We nearly collided with it. Up close, the glass was smeared from the inside, as if something had pressed against it repeatedly. The flame hovered without a wick, flickering in a way that felt aware. This light touched my hand. Not warm, not hot. Pressure. The forest bent inward, trunks curving subtly toward the glow. My vision warped, depth collapsing. Naomi yanked me back. Don't let it touch you. The lantern tilted toward her. The flame stilled, and in that stillness I understood. It wasn't meant to light the forest. It was meant to find us. The glow narrowed, wrapping around Naomi's face without illuminating anything else. Her outline blurred, split slightly like two versions of her out of alignment. I can't move, she said. I grabbed her arm and pulled. Resistance pressed against her, not from her body but from the space around it. Then she tore free, collapsing into me. The lantern flared. The unseen footsteps erupted, circling us faster than anything human could. Branches shook without wind. Leaves rattled in waves. Run! I shouted. We ran blindly. The lantern gave chase, darting erratically now, its light brushing us in brief, disorienting touches that bent the world. Naomi screamed once. I didn't look back. The trees broke suddenly. I stumbled onto gravel, falling hard onto a narrow road. Sound rushed back, wind, insects, distant water. I turned. The lantern hovered at the tree line. It swung once, perfect arc. Then it receded, shrinking into the dark until it vanished. Naomi didn't come out. Neither did Mateo. At dawn, the forest looked ordinary. Sunlight filled it properly, casting real shadows. There was no trail, no sign we had ever been there. But sometimes, at the edge of my vision, I see it again, far ahead between the trees. A lantern swinging, and nothing around it touched by light. The forest air tasted metallic, like we were breathing in something alive. At first it was faint, just a thin tang at the back of the tongue, like the smell of rain on rusted metal. I swallowed, expecting it to pass, but it didn't. Each breath sharpened it, gave it weight. By the time we stopped to check the map, it coated my mouth completely. You taste that? I asked. Lena didn't look up from the compass. Yeah. Darren spat into the leaves. Thought it was just me. Kaito ran his tongue along his teeth, frowning. It's not the water? We haven't had any since the ridge, I said. No one spoke after that. The silence felt thicker than it should have been, like the air had substance now, something we were pushing through instead of moving within. We were deep enough that the trail had thinned to suggestion. Trees stood close, tall and straight, their bark pale and smooth like bones stripped of context. The canopy filtered the light into a dull green haze, and the humidity clung to our skin in a way that felt deliberate. Lena folded the map slowly. We're still on track. Another hour to the survey point. Darren exhaled through his mouth. Air tastes like a battery. That normal out here? No, Kaito said. He said it quietly, but it landed heavier than anything else. We kept moving. The taste deepened. It wasn't just metallic anymore, it was complex, layered. There was a bitterness beneath it, and something else I couldn't name, something organic. It felt wrong to breathe through my nose, but breathing through my mouth only made it stronger. After 10 minutes, Lena stopped abruptly. Hold on. Blood ran from her left nostril in a thin, steady line. Don't tilt your head back, I said, stepping closer. Lean forward. I'm fine, she muttered, but her voice had changed. Slightly hollow, as if it had to travel farther to reach us. Darren handed her a cloth. That's not fine. Kaito watched the trees instead of her. Pressure's wrong. I noticed it then. A subtle shift, like being underwater just deep enough to feel it in your ears. The air pressed inward, not evenly, but in pulses, faint compressions that seemed to pass through us rather than around us. "Let's keep moving," Lena said, wiping her nose. "We don't stop here." We didn't argue. The forest began to distort in small ways. Sounds arrived out of place. A branch snapping somewhere ahead echoed from behind us. Our footsteps overlapped inconsistently, as if one of us walked a half-beat out of time. The taste thickened. I coughed, and something in the back of my throat shifted. Not pain, not obstruction, just a presence I hadn't felt before. I swallowed again, harder this time, but it didn't go away. "You okay?" Darren asked. "Yeah," I said. "Just dry." "It's not dry," he said. "That's the problem." He was sweating heavily, more than the rest of us. The moisture on his skin looked wrong. Too glossy, like condensation forming too quickly. Kaito stopped. "What?" Lena asked. He didn't answer right away. He inhaled slowly, then exhaled through his nose, eyes narrowing. "It's changing," he said. "What is?" "The air." We waited. "It's adjusting," he continued. "Like it's reacting." "That doesn't make sense," Darren said. "No," Kaito agreed. "It doesn't." But he didn't take it back. We moved again, faster now. The trail vanished completely. In its place was uneven ground, roots rising like ribs beneath the soil. The trees seemed closer together than before, their trunks subtly angled inward. The pressure built. My ears popped, then filled again. The metallic taste sharpened until it bordered on painful, like biting down on foil. I could feel it in my sinuses, in the back of my eyes. Lena stumbled. "I'm dizzy," she said. "Sit down," I told her. "No," she shook her head. Too quickly. "If I sit, I'm not getting back up." Darren swore under his breath. "We need to turn around." "We don't know where back is," I said. He looked at me, then at the trees. "We just came from." He stopped. There was no clear direction behind us. The forest had closed, rearranged. Every angle looked the same. "That's not right," he said. Kaito pressed his fingers against his throat. "It's inside." "What is?" Lena asked. He swallowed, grimacing. "The taste. It's not just taste." A low sound moved through the trees. Not wind, not animal. Something closer to breathing, but too large, too diffuse. It came in waves, synchronized with the pressure in the air. Inhale. The forest tightened. Exhale. It loosened, just slightly. "Do you hear that?" I whispered. No one answered, but their faces told me they did. Darren coughed hard, doubling over. When he straightened, there was blood at the corner of his mouth. "Okay," he said hoarsely. "Okay. That's new." "It's in us," Kaito said. "Don't say that," Lena snapped. "It's in us," he repeated more firmly. The breathing sound deepened. Inhale. My chest tightened. Not from lack of air, but from something pushing inward, filling space that should have been empty. Exhale. Relief, brief and incomplete. Darren took a step back. "We're leaving. Now." He turned and walked straight into a tree that hadn't been there a moment before. He staggered, blinking. "What?" The tree stood solid, its bark pale and smooth. No sign it had moved. No sign it hadn't always been there. "You saw that," he said. I had. The forest wasn't just surrounding us anymore. It was adjusting. The breathing grew louder. Inhale. This time it didn't stop at pressure. Something moved with it. Fine particulate sliding into my lungs. Not air. Something else. I gagged. Lena dropped to her knees. "I can't," she gasped. "I can't get a full breath." "You are breathing," I said. But the words felt wrong even as I spoke them. She shook her head violently. "No. No, it's breathing me." Kaito crouched beside her. "Don't fight it." She stared at him. "What?" "Don't resist," he said. "It gets worse when you resist." "How do you know that?" He didn't answer. The realization came slowly, then all at once. Kaito wasn't reacting the same way we were. He wasn't panicking. He was listening. Inhale. He inhaled with it, deeply. Exhale. He matched it. The metallic taste around him seemed thicker, more concentrated, as if drawn to him. Kaido, I said carefully, what are you doing? He looked at me, and something in his expression had shifted, subtle but unmistakable. It's learning, he said. Darren stepped back. Stay away from him. It doesn't want to hurt us, Kaido continued, voice calm. It's just trying to understand. By suffocating us? Darren snapped. It's not suffocation, Kaido said. It's intake. The word landed wrong. Inhale. The forest pressed in harder than before. Lena screamed. Her chest rose sharply, too sharply, as if something inside her had pulled the breath in faster than her body could handle. Exhale. She collapsed, gasping. Kaido stood. It needs one of us, he said. No, I said immediately. He tilted his head, listening to something we couldn't hear. It's already chosen, he said. The breathing stopped. The silence that followed was absolute. Then it rushed in all at once. A violent inhale tore through the forest, bending branches, pulling leaves upward. The air thickened to the point of resistance. Darren ran. He made it 3 steps before he choked, dropping to his knees, clawing at his throat. I grabbed Lena, dragging her back. Kaido, stop, I shouted. He didn't move. The air around him shimmered faintly, like heat distortion, but wrong, too dense, too focused. Inhale. The force centered on him. His chest expanded unnaturally, ribs pushing outward beneath his skin. His mouth opened, but he didn't scream. He breathed, and the forest breathed with him. Exhale. The pressure snapped outward. Darren went still. Lena's grip on my arm weakened. Kaido, I said, my voice shaking. You're going to kill us. He looked at me almost gently. It's not killing, he said. It's becoming. The air surged again. I ran. Branches tore at my arms. The ground shifted unpredictably. Behind me, the breathing resumed. Deeper now, stronger, synchronized with Kaido's impossible rhythm. Inhale. The world narrowed. Exhale. It lurched. I didn't know how long I ran. Time had lost its edges, stretched thin by the pulses of pressure. Then, abruptly, the forest broke. I stumbled out onto open ground, collapsing onto dry earth. The air changed instantly, light, empty, normal. I coughed, retching, trying to clear the taste from my mouth. It didn't leave. Even now, it lingers, faint but present, a metallic edge beneath everything else. Sometimes, when I breathe too deeply, I feel it again, that second rhythm just beneath my own. Waiting, listening, learning how to match me.